What's up, fam? I got a little mic. Am I a real YouTuber now? So, today, because there's a lot of new faces here, and I am just so excited to share more with you guys. There's a lot going on in my life right now, and I thought it would be really, really helpful, probably, to reintroduce myself and share a little bit about my story. It's a hefty one, but we love it. We love the journey. And obviously, in hindsight, I can really say that I'm thankful for everything that's happened to me. It's how I got here. It's how I became this version of myself. When I look back on all the things that's happened, I'm like, yeah, that like had to happen. But of course, when you're in it, it's like, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening? Going through stuff is hard. Can we just say, like, sometimes when life is life and it's like, what is happening? Hi. Let's just start from the beginning, okay? I'm gonna overshare probably, but that's what we're here for. That's what YouTube is here for, right? Oversharing? Yeah. About 10 years ago is when my journey probably officially started. I got really into the gym. I actually didn't make my high school volleyball team, and that led me to join my local YMCA. We're like really taking it back. This is like grade 10 or 11. While I was going to this gym, I started to get noticed from some of the trainers there who were doing, bodybuilding coaching. And that's where it all started for me. That's kind of where I dove into the bodybuilding world. So just to keep this part of it short, I ended up competing from the ages of 19 to about 23. So I did 4 shows in total. And of course, I did bikini competitions. And this, of course, is what led me here. Anyone who's ever done bodybuilding shows or knows anyone who's done them, you know how extreme they are, okay? My body and food became my whole entire life. Like, that was all I thought about. It was all I did. I spent hours in the gym and I basically underate all the time. I remember I had a government job at the time for the summer or something, and I remember going to work, barely eating at work. Like, I would bring like my spinach salad, I would bring my egg whites to microwave, and then I would bus home, get to my car in my neighborhood, eat like this much rice and like this much white fish. God. I don't know how I did that actually. And then I would drive to the gym and work out for 2 hours. I don't know how I did that. Like, I need snacks all the time now. Like, I love food. Anyways, so that was my life for a really long time. And I remember I would do like the cheat days. I had a really big like binge eating problem. I had terrible body dysmorphia because even after a show, let's say, obviously I was so deprived that I was eating so much after a show, still probably looked the same. And I was so terrified of gaining weight. I was so terrified of having any body fat on me because at that point I was basically no body fat and I still thought I had more to lose. That is body dysmorphia. I look back on pictures of like that point in my life and you can see like I'm not healthy. It's not healthy. No, especially for a woman. No, not healthy. And I still thought I was too big. I still thought I had more to lose. So it really messed with my mindset. It messed with my relationship with food, of course, my relationship to my body, and it pretty much messed up every single, why can't I talk today? It messed up every other basically aspect of my life too because I couldn't be present. I was sabotaging relationships. I would say no to friends because I was scared to eat out or I was, whatever, just anxious about everything. At the time, the person I was in a relationship with, we also only ever thought about getting content and what does our bodies look like? And let's go get a cheat meal. That was our whole entire life. Around 23, 24, I started to realize, okay, wait, like this isn't normal. Me binge eating is not normal. Me wanting to eat an insane amount of food and then also to want to watch people eat an insane amount of food, this is not normal. And it's something that I think is so normalized in that industry because I would remember after a photo shoot or after a show, all of us bikini girls, like we would run to a grocery store and get like 10 boxes of cereal and Oreos and donuts, and we would just like eat it all at once. Like, that's not normal. I realized this is actually really common and it was starting to make me sad. I was starting to get sad because so many women would reach out to me and maybe they had never competed before, but they were also struggling with binge eating or fear around food or fear around their body changing or like always wanting to lose weight and shrink themselves. And I was just like, whoa, this is like a crisis. This is no bueno. So that led me to essentially, although I was already certified as a nutrition coach and a fitness trainer, it led me into that world of food freedom and helping women through, diet culture to finding food freedom. And then everything started else to kind of crumble in my life, because that's how it works when you're evolving and growing, and when you ask the universe for more, it will give you more. So I was starting to really grow apart from my partner at that point, and we were just, becoming different people. He was still very much so in that world, and I wanted out. I was like, I want to have a life that is more than just my body. I don't want to identify with my body. I don't want to be obsessed about these things anymore. I want to have a life, and I want to enjoy my life. Long story short, with that, we broke up. It was a really hard breakup. We had been together for like 6 years. We had a dog, we had a place, we had a business, which basically all just poof, bye. I walked away. I got a new place. And then, because my body, I think, had gone through so much stress, so much trauma, I also got into a car accident recently after. My body was just like, oh my God, like, you need to not life for a bit. I got so badly injured out of nowhere. But looking back on hindsight, it wasn't out of nowhere. It was the universe being like, we're going to just like make you sit in this for a bit. It was the worst chronic pain of my life. I was out of the gym for over a year. I was pretty much bedridden for months. It just really made me sit with myself and not only heal my body image and my relationship with food, but also my relationship to myself. It made me go so freaking internal. And also, after being with someone for so many years, now I was going through all these life shifts alone. I learned so much about myself. I learned how to enjoy my own company. I took myself out on dates. I let myself cry so much, grieve so much, release so much. And it was essentially the biggest year of healing for me. This was maybe 3-ish years ago, because it really forced me to go internal. I couldn't keep, training like an insane person to keep my body looking a certain way. And I couldn't necessarily just, go on dates to fill a void, because I was so sad and insecure and healing, that the universe really helped me just like be in my own shit. I'm so grateful for that in hindsight, because it was like the biggest transformation I had ever gone through. Like, I was put literally in my cocoon, and then through a series of events, things started to happen to me in a synchronistic way. I met a really good friend, where she's still my best friend today, who she essentially is the one that opened up my eyes to traveling, solo traveling in particular. This is where I first went to Tulum. And if y'all have watched my YouTube videos in the past, I fell in love with Tulum, and I ended up living in Tulum for a year and a half. And where do I want to go with this? Again, Tulum is such a special place in my heart. But again, eventually, that for me, it was like, I am not meant to be here in this chapter anymore. I did a lot of healing there. I met a lot of amazing people there. I was in a really great relationship there. But ultimately, I just felt my intuition, my soul, my heart being like, this is not right anymore. Like, this was a chapter. I tried really hard to make it work. I did a lot of going inwards again there, because I was going through so many mindsets around fear and money and worthiness. And I feel like I was still putting all of my self-worth into other people or other things, or how many clients I had or how much money I was making. And I was realizing that that was so draining. And then I hit the biggest burnout of my life. The biggest burnout of my life. I was crying every day for a month. I was sleeping all day for a month. And it didn't stop there, because that was only a year ago. And I feel like I'm only just coming out of my burnout, because once again, when I hit that burnout, I went through cycles. I've just been going through cycles for the last like 4 to 5 years, I've realized, of hitting a wall, pushing through it, feeling decent and excited and inspired, and then hitting that wall again and being so freaking drained, so unfulfilled, so tired, so exhausted, so like I'm not actually truly living from a place of alignment. Like, I'm still living for the external. I'm still living for the money, what people think about me, the numbers, the followers, the clients, etc., etc., etc. And this most recent time, when I moved back home from Tulum, this was in January, I needed a break, and I just felt it in my body. I was still trying to push, still trying to force, still trying to create, produce. I've been creating on social media and in my business for almost 10 years, probably more actually. So checking in with myself and just feeling so anxious, I was having breakdowns, and panic attacks like almost daily. And I was like, okay, my body is telling me something. And if I don't start listening now, like I should have years ago, it's just going to keep coming up. And I might, suffer from another injury, or I might suffer from an autoimmune disease. And I think that is so relevant in our culture and in our society. People are having mental breakdowns, panic attacks, they're burnt out, they're exhausted, they're unfulfilled, they're drained, continuing to push, because that's what we know. We kind of grew up in hustle culture. We kind of grew up in that independent woman, don't need no man, I'm going to work so freaking hard, girl boss. And we wonder why our nervous systems are so unregulated, like so unregulated. To the point of I just literally wanted to throw my phone into a river, lay in the grass all day, and do nothing. And that to me felt so good. Like it just sounded so good. I was like, that's what my body wants. So that's what I gave my body. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, actually. Of all the breakups, of all the fresh starts, all the injuries, actually, I'm being so honest with you. When I took a month, just a month too, when I took a month off of social media and off of working, aka I made no money that month, it felt so freaking scary. I have never felt fear like that in my life, because in the past, my go-to mechanism was push, 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 force, 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 keep doing, keep grinding, like, feel your feelings, but like kind of shove them down. I just couldn't do that anymore. I could not do that anymore. Let me just preface, I'm so grateful. I'm living with my parents right now because I'm traveling a lot. So I'm so grateful that I had that landing spot. I know not everyone has that. And I'm not saying that you maybe need to take a whole month off of work completely. If you can, highly recommend. But of course, if you can't, I'm more so just talking about giving yourself time and space to do more nothing, to do more just sit in nature. Get off your phone. Take time off social media, especially if your business isn't social media, even if it is, but like get off that app. Get off all the apps for a while. Get off your phone in general. Go outside, put your feet in the earth, hug a tree. I don't even freaking care what you do. Just, it feels so good. It feels so good to come back to that self-connection and listening to yourself. So when I had this time of quietness, I was able to go inwards, deeply inwards. And I had so much grief come up, so much sadness, so many emotions, so much, fears and feelings of unworthiness. And all these things just came freaking up. And mind you, this was around the same time that I got my Healy, which you may have seen me talk about my Healy before. This is my frequency device that I know it's not a coincidence that all these things came up, because I am changing my frequency. I'm changing my energy, my vibration, and I'm literally, operating on a higher frequency level now. But this came into my life when I was at my lowest because I needed support. It supported my nervous system. It supported the injury that I was again going through. I don't think there was a coincidence there. I had a really bad knee pain, which I didn't really do anything to my knee even. It was just like this metaphorical, like, okay, can't take the next step kind of thing. And my frequency device helped me on a nervous system level, regulation level, mental health level, physical pain level, so many things. So I'm very grateful for you, Healy. So much came up, I know now, for me to be able to release it. Because then recently, when I went to Mexico again, I went to Sayulita, I swear to God, was reborn. Like, I feel like a totally different human from when I first left. The amount of self-confidence I gained, the amount of surrendering I went through every single morning on the beach. I would literally go meditate and just let go. Like, I trust the universe. The universe has my back. I'm letting go. I'm letting go of control, of trying to force things. And I'm just, I'm supported. I'm provided for, and I know it. And I kid you not, so many synchronicities started to happen to me. Like, money started to come in randomly. I was signing clients where I had not worked for like over a month effortlessly. Opportunities were starting to happen. People were inviting me to things. I had gone on this retreat like in Sayulita, which I got invited to. I know it's because I was operating from an energy and a space of trust and surrender. Whereas for so many years, like I said, I was constantly pushing, forcing, trying so freaking hard, operating from this place of lack and fear and scarcity. And now that I had moved all of that fear and scarcity and lack out of me, I was starting to operate from a place of I am abundant, I have enough, I'm so freaking worthy. Magic started to happen around me and I could feel my energy shifting. Now, as I'm talking to you, I'm back home in Canada, but there are so many things still happening to me in a synchronistic way because I've opened myself up to the universe. So I guess you could say my journey has essentially led me to having a deep relationship with Source, to trusting so fully and deeply in the energy around me, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, whatever you resonate with. And this is where, when I talk about energy and manifesting and all the things, like, it's real. It's freaking real. I'm so thankful that my journey, which was once so food and body and lack and fear based, has now shifted into trusting whatever is next. Like, I really don't know what's next, actually. I'm still very much so in the unknown. But I know that in sharing my journey and being authentically me and just trying to live in alignment as much as I can and being open to the changes and the shifts and the missteps and the redirections and the rejections and all the things, I know that it's always going to lead me exactly where I'm meant to be. I've also recently started a very special and near and dear to my heart membership opportunity where we dive into all these areas, where I am giving resources based off of food freedom, nourishment, healing your hormones and metabolism, healing body image, mindset, confidence, energy, manifesting, like all the things that are so close to my heart in my own journey, and that I know so many of us as women, like, we take back our power when we focus on all these things because we're no longer letting diet culture run the shots. So in this membership, you get access to all of these resources. You get access to community support. You get access to live coaching calls with me, where we check in together. You have direct access to asking questions, and it's just really good energy to be in with other like-minded women. And to have those resources literally in your hands. Like, you're going out to dinner, you're having a hard time with food, there's a video for that. You want to start manifesting more and calling more in, there's a video for that. So let's do that together. The link's in the description to check it out. There's a wait list right now. And I'm just so excited to keep diving into this journey with you. I will see you soon.